Whether you're a real estate broker, realtor, homeowner, buyer, or seller, everything matters when it comes to real estate. This is Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stewart Title's Bill Napick and guests open the door to what really matters in owning, buying, and selling real estate. And now, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title, brought to you by Stewart Insurance. Here to inform, entertain, and inspire, Bill Napick.
Welcome to the show, Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. I am Bill Napick. Thank you for joining us again on this radio adventure. We have a tremendous show, as always, top people in the real estate profession and a kind of a variety show today. So we're glad you joined us. You will be informed, entertained, maybe even inspired on this edition of Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Our first guest, we're going to talk about money. She is Pam Eastwald with Cornerstone Home Lending, and in addition, she is the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Pam, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
What a great accomplishment. Just being the president is incredible, but also being at Cornerstone Home Lending, helping people every day with their real estate loans and transactions.
We love it. That's our mission in life.
Let's tell people a little bit about your company, Cornerstone Home Lending, first.
Cornerstone Home Lending was founded in Houston, Texas in 1988 by Mark Laird and Judy Belanger. They started the company here with a folding table, and now we have 38 states. We're in 38 states. We service about $10 billion. We offer any product that you want in a mortgage loan for residential single-family dwellings.
And I would think, how many times do people ask you, what's the interest rate per week? A few?
Every
maybe?
day. Yeah, every day.
Like, okay,
yeah. And rates, as a friend of mine once said, you can always depend on them to change. They'll go
like
up or down. Yeah,
indeed
exactly.
They do. And it depends, as we know, it has to be said, it depends also on the person's situation, credit scores, and all those things. Everything comes into play.
Credit scores, loan to values, the type of dwelling. So a condo is slightly more expensive than a single family dwelling. Credit scores drive it tremendously in the conventional world, not so much in the government world.
Very interesting. Let's tell people a few distinctions of Cornerstone Home Lending.
Cornerstone actually would want you to know that we have a program called the 10-Day Ready. It gives me a heart attack every time I talk about it, but we promise to close a loan in 10 days if you need us to do that.
And it's called 10-Day Ready. That's quite a claim and commitment to the customer.
It is a commitment on our part to make every closing on time.
So it sounds like details are so important. Also, couple that with time being so important. And I think that says a certain respect for the person's time. And that's a really nice distinction.
It is a nice distinction. And in addition to that, we offer the 15-minute closing. So what we do is we send out all the ancillary docs ahead of time. Ancillary docs would be not truth and lending docs, although those also go the 4506, and I won't go through all the technical things. But the only thing that you sign at closing are the things that have to be wet signed. And so it tremendously saves time when you go to the closing, not having to sit there signing a bunch of things.
And when you use that term, the wet signing, that's like people that like fountain pens would really identify, I like fountain pens. So
that's correct.
That's why I said that. So let's tell people also the marketplace now as we begin this year. January's gone, well into February. What are you seeing in the marketplace right now?
It's heating up. Actually, while we're watching right now, we're getting contracts every weekend. The market's really heating up, along with pre-qualifying people wanting to go out and buy houses today. So it is a very good market right now.
In fact, it's interesting. This show airs kind of at the end, the bookend of the real estate weekend, Sunday at 5 o'clock. People that are listening at the time of broadcast, certainly people listen on the internet well after the show. But this really is a nice bookend to the weekend where people have been at open houses. They may have been at that house a second, third time, and they're now ready, making at 5 o'clock as they hear the show. They're making their decisions, and then Monday, they're calling you, right?
Trying to write contracts. Actually, they should call me ahead of that.
Well ahead of that.
Well ahead of that. It's very critical when you want to purchase a house that you pre-qualify for a loan ahead of time, so that when you go out looking for that house, you know, first of all, the price range you should be in, and that you can make an offer with a pre-qualification letter that says that I have seen your income, your credit, and your assets, and you truly qualify for that property.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Always ready, like the Coast Guard, Semper Paratus. That is their motto. The Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Let's tell people why that is so important here in Houston, Texas. You are the president. That is such a distinction for yourself. Let's tell people why that's important to real estate professionals and anyone else, and even people that are buying and selling.
When Scott came to me and asked me to consider being president of Houston Mortgage Bankers, it was really exciting for me as an opportunity to give back to our community. One of the mission statements for Houston Mortgage Bankers is education and professionalism in our industry. So in that light, I want to be sure and talk about our next event, which is an educational event. It's a panel on March the 4th. We call it Emerging Marketing. And what we're doing in this is we're talking about diversification. We live in the most diverse city in the United States, which I'm very proud to say, and Houston Mortgage Bankers supports that. So we're actually talking about the different segments in the market, how to market to those people, and how to help them buy houses. It's on March the 4th. It's at Stewart Title. We have Cassandra Skidanaviv with Freddie Mac. She's an affordable home lending manager. We have Brenda Cooper, who's the Senior Vice President, Diversity Officer with Amegy Bank. Danny Garcia with NAREP, who's the president of NAREP and with White Picket Realty here in Houston. And Tony Thompson, who's the founder of CEO, and he's the with NAMBA. So we're really excited about this. Please come sign up for March the 4th. It's available to any realtor, loan officer, any person in the real estate industry.
March 4th. What day is that?
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, and at Stewart Title, which location?
1330 Post Oak.
That is our corporate office.
The second floor training, yeah.
And it's a beautiful place to have an event. So if people want to reach out to you for that, what should they do? They should go to houston-mba.com, and you can see the event there and sign up, and you can see all of our events. We have another one in April. We do a monthly one, and we try to make them educational. The one in April has a gentleman from the Federal Reserve who's going to come talk to us as well. All kinds of great things. And the website for the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association is? houston-mba.com. That's almost logical, right? It is, yeah. That is super awesome. And I know ongoing you have these great events, but what are some of the other things? I've been to an event there, not recently, but you get a big crowd. It's also a nice opportunity for real estate professionals to meet other people in lending and other realtors. So it's always a fun event. We just had a wonderful event with Jim McIngvale. And everybody knows who Jim McIngvale is, Mattress Mac. He's been in this studio many times, too. Yeah. We had 130, 140 people, and he gave his Why Me speech, he calls it. It was wonderful. The networking that went on before and after, the enthusiasm he brings, and that's what we try to do at our luncheons when we do the networking, is bring a lot of enthusiasm for our industry and for our community. It's very exciting being in Houston, Texas, isn't it? It is, actually. Yeah. I mean, I know people from around the country hear this show, and what's going on here in real estate is so different, I think, than so many other places. But before we close the segment, Pam, let's tell people, what else would you like them to know, either about the Mortgage Bankers Association or your company? Call you for a loan. Call me for a loan. Thanks number? For the coach. That's right. 713-829-2777 is my direct line. Call anytime. We call ourselves the Beck and Call Mortgage Company. If you need us, we're going to be there for you. One more time, the phone number is? 713-829-2777. With Cornerstone Home Lending. She's going to be back later in the show. Thank you, Pam, for being on the show. Thank you. And we're coming right back with even more. Please stay with us.
In today's litigious society, it is imperative to have the proper insurance to offset the many risks facing your business, especially if you're a real estate broker. Your errors and omissions and cyber liability insurance can help limit the threat of these risks if you know what to look for. Not sure if your insurance addresses the risks facing your business? Contact Stewart Insurance to be confident your brokerage can withstand these risks. Stewart Insurance, 866-798-2827. StewartInsurance.com. That's StewartInsurance.com or call 866-798-2827.
And she is here right now, Tracy Fowler. She is with In the Loop Real Estate Transaction Solutions. Tracy, welcome to the show.
Hello, Bill.
Let's tell people what a great name for a company, In the Loop Real Estate Transaction Solutions. Sounds like you're doing a lot to help people in their real estate transaction. Let's tell them about your company.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Well, Bill, I am a licensed realtor in Houston, and I prided myself when I was actively doing real estate on providing really a seamless process that my clients never had to worry about what was happening behind the scenes. And so now I've hung up my real estate license, and I am exclusively serving realtors in the capacity of a contract to close capacity. And
well, that sounds interesting. When we think about the services that you're offering, give us an idea of some of the services you're offering the real estate professionals.
Sure. So the bulk of what I do is you get somebody under contract. Maybe it happens at 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. You drop me a line. You can text me, call me, email me, Facebook me. And if I'm sitting right in front of at 11 o'clock, I'm not in front of my computer, but
maybe
first thing in the morning, maybe not, maybe I am. Reach out to me and I handle it from there. I get in touch with the lender, the title company. You've already been in touch probably with the lender, but I just make sure everyone knows that I'm assisting you with the contract to close phase. And for the most part, you're pretty hands-off. You still handle the negotiations, obviously.
And the relationship with
with the client. That's very important. So I free you up to do that.
That sounds like a tremendous resource for a realtor.
It really is. I mean, there were times when I was a realtor where I felt like I would have loved to have used a transaction coordinator. It can be challenging at the last minute to find one, so I would encourage people to keep my information and keep me in mind.
That sounds interesting. How did you make the transition from doing real estate, your own files, let's say, to being in a mode where you're now helping people do theirs and giving them more room? In fact, as the market, we hear it's already rocking out here. I've heard that term many times.
Yes.
At the beginning of the year, the market is so good. So now I would think people need you more.
Absolutely. Things are going to start picking up. As Pam mentioned, things are already picking up. And of course, peak buying season is this summer, but it really starts around spring break, right? Spring break, heading into April, heading into May. Yes. If you're wanting to relocate before school starts, you don't want to start in August. You want to start in April or May.
That sounds very interesting. And then as far as the agents, so once again, the agents, their responsibility to their clients, certainly they're building a relationship, answering questions.
Yes.
What are some of the other things that you free them up to do in maybe more of a thorough manner?
Sure. So I provide a checklist of 32 items to my realtors so they know exactly what the contract to close bit is. I take 32 huge important items off their plate. But before we even get started, I reach out to the realtor. I make sure we're on the same page. If they need additional services, I help with that also. Listing agents probably want to reach out to me once they get a listing under contract. I can help them upload it to the MLS, upload photos. I provide a narrative for the photos. Statistically, homes get viewed more and revisited more on the MLS if there are captions under the photos. Maybe you've looked at homes on the MLS in HAR, and you've seen a photo and you're like, well, what room is this? What's going on in this room that's special? So I will help realtors with that as well.
You know what stuck with what you just said that I really like, and I want to expound on that a little bit, is that you said you have a checklist. First of all, I like that. I mean, I don't know if you like a to-do list.
Feels good.
It does feel good when we check them off, but it sounds like you're very organized. You have 32 boxes to check. So that way you're using systems and procedures to get the job done.
Oh, absolutely.
And that way you're not going to forget anything.
That's essential. And, it's important also that I stay communicating with the realtors. So obviously I'm available to them. Text, email, Facebook. What am I leaving out? Phone call. People still make phone calls. But also I use a product that they can log into the cloud at any time, and they can see where we're at in the process, who's been communicated with, what communications have already taken place. So there's never any question by the realtor when they wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night going, did that get taken care of? They can log in real quick and just double check.
That's awesome. As far as let's take a real estate file, I'm sure they're all a little different, but
Sure.
an average kind of a turnaround time.
Sure.
How does all this timing wise
Well, I
work?
promise my clients that within 24 hours, I will get back to them. It would be unusual for it to take 24 hours. However, like I mentioned, if you need me at 2:00 in the morning, I'm probably not going to be up. But my office hours are 8 to 5. You'll hear from me certainly at 8. If you text me at 6, you're going to hear from me. I'm on my way to the gym, but you will hear from me.
That's so important. Staying in physical shape, to be in
Yes.
mental shape, to be able to do what we
Absolutely.
do. I'm a firm believer in that. No question about that. As far as communication, people can check into the cloud, see where they're at. They're going to call you. Are there any other forms of communication that work in your process?
Well, you can wave me down. Hey, you.
Hey, you. We
if
can
you
do
see
that.
me anywhere.
Are you on Facebook?
I am on Facebook. In fact,
That's right. You sent me a
I
request.
did.
And I
I
responded.
tagged you this morning in my
There you
post
go.
also. Yes. In fact, I find that Facebook is the easiest way for realtors to get a hold of me. If you're a realtor, you are on Facebook. I would encourage you to find my Facebook page. You can find me at Realtors in the Loop, all squished together. And you can message me there anytime I get a text message saying, hey, someone's trying to reach out to you.
That's a great name for the company, too, In the Loop, because it says so many things. We think about
Sure.
the loop just being in Houston,
Sure.
right? You're in
Yes.
the loop in the
I'm
transaction.
amazed that dawned on me. I had a eureka moment when I came up with
So that was your brainchild.
Yes. Yes.
That is tremendous. Give us an idea of the marketplace right now. It's pretty busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to look ahead and kind of think of what's going to happen for the rest of the months in the year, what's your feel?
Well, as Pam mentioned, things are picking up. So I'm already getting calls from realtors that are anticipating what's going to happen coming up, and they're lining up my services. Of course, as the buying season progresses into summer, things just continue to steamroll. There are still closings that are happening in September and October and November, obviously. September from the summer, October is still bleeding over from the summer. So they're really closings all year long that I can be helping with.
As far as a price point, do you find yourself working on one price point, or are you helping people with
That's
the
a good
whole
question.
range?
The whole range. So I relocated down inside the Loop, which has a higher price point than the suburbs, but I lived in the suburbs for years, and that's where I started my business. So I help with the 180. That's usually kind of the lowest, 120 maybe if you're really lucky. But I help everybody. I'm very familiar with those $200,000 transactions. I'm very familiar with those $1 million transactions. And, I know what to look for at every stage.
In the multi-million dollar versus, let's take a $500,000 transaction, does the checklist change in that 32? Is it pretty solid?
No, it really doesn't. What's funny, Bill, is a couple of years ago, I took a class on providing luxury services, luxury real estate services, thinking, oh my goodness, I'm really going to learn how to take care of that next level client. What I discovered when I took that was that it's really the service I was providing all of my clients already. And I bring that same ethos to contract to close and taking care of my realtors.
And about how many, when you're really busy, about how many files would you be working on at one time?
Well, I like to keep my clientele or my closings to 30 or less a month. That allows me to stay really hands-on and, not miss anything.
As far as organization, give us a quick word how you stay organized with many files in process with a checklist of 32. How do you stay organized?
It's that tool. It's called TC Docs. It's a Google suite of docs. It's a little more secure than Folio. I can use Folio if my clients are more comfortable with that, but I find that TC Docs, I'm happy with the security, and it was developed by a realtor who had a software engineer husband, or I'm sorry, a transaction coordinator that had a software engineer husband. They thought of everything.
And Tracy, let's tell people how they can reach you.
Well, you can reach me by phone, 832-540-6767. You can message me on Facebook at Realtors in the Loop. That's my page. or you can email me at realtorsintheloop@gmail.com.
And the phone number again is
832-540-6767.
Tracy Fowler. The company is In the Loop Real Estate Transaction Solutions. Thank you, Tracy. And Tracy will be back a little bit later. Thanks for being on the show. We're coming right back with even more Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. Your host, Bill Nampick. Thank you, Tracy. Here we go. It's now time to inspect some homes, and a good time to inspect a home is before you buy. Oh, yeah, by the way, that's the name of the company that T.J. Thompson is with. The company is called Before You Buy. I love that name. And he is T.J. Thompson. Hey, T.J., welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate you having me today.
I love that name, huh?
Thank you.
Better get it inspected before you buy.
That's exactly right.
That is the first good move. So let's tell people about your company and home inspections a little bit in general.
Okay. Before You Buy is a service-based company, and we work as a business partner with both the real estate agent and the customer to help them make good informed decisions on some of the biggest purchases they'll ever make.
It is a big purchase. And the thing that strikes me with a home, there are so many components to it. I mean, AC, structural, all these things. So a person like you have a good knowledge of the overall, all the things that make it work or make it not work.
Yes, sir. That's exactly right. I kind of refer to us as the general practitioner, if you will. If you're getting a house inspected, it's like sending the house in for a physical. And we're the general practitioner. We're going to go through the house, and we're going to let you know if there's an issue with that house. We're going to refer you to a specialist.
Sometimes the home may need an MRI.
Exactly.
There you go. So let's tell people also the different levels of inspections, because I'm sure there's, like anybody else, you have a menu of different things you offer. Give us an idea.
Right. So in the state of Texas, there's 3 levels of inspectors. There's an apprentice inspector, there's a real estate inspector, and then there's a professional real estate inspector, which is what Before You Buy Inspection Services is. The apprentice inspector has to work under another inspector while they are working on it. It's basically an entry-level license. The real estate inspector is an intermediate level license, and the professional level inspector is someone who's been in the business for a while and has a little bit more experience and background to them.
When we hear the term all the time, home inspection. So bullet points, what is a home inspection, or what should it be?
Well, a home inspection is basically, it's...
Because sometimes people have expectations and that you're going to be tearing up the air conditioner. There's certain things you don't do, but let's tell them what you do and what it is.
Exactly. Yes, it's an objective, non-invasive examination of the home's condition on that day that the inspection is completed. So things change over time. Weather changes, it rains, things like that. So we look at the home and we report on it as it is on that specific day.
One of the key words there is non-invasive.
Correct.
Meaning that you don't open things up, as in the air conditioner. Is that correct?
Correct. We will take off the cover for the electrical panel. We'll look at the wiring to make sure it's, there's no problems inside of there. But we don't cut into walls to look for, evidence of leaks or anything like that. So it's, we are invasive to a point, but we don't take it to the point of, damaging someone's property.
So when you would think about the role of the home inspector, as you've done this for many years now, how do you view the role, and what do you think that role should be for others that are in the profession?
Yeah, like I said, I think our role is a business partner with the real estate agent and the buyer, and our job is to give a good, informed, educational, objective view of what the home is and what condition the home is in, so that the person can make the most informed decision possible.
Would it be safe to say that every real estate purchase, even if it's a new home, should be inspected?
Most definitely.
So even new, I'm buying a home that's brand new, I should get it inspected.
I've inspected some brand new homes where they have forgotten to put air conditioning registers in rooms. So yes, it's definitely important for a brand new home, just as much as it is for a 5 or 10-year-old home.
Going back, let's go back a little bit further than 5 or 10 years. There are some homes in certain areas of town and even across the country that go back 50 years. Mm-hmm. What do you see when you look at one of those homes? I would assume a lot of things have been updated, but maybe not. What do you see?
Right. when we look at a home, we go in and I like to say I listen to what what story the home is trying to tell me when I walk in. There's indicators that we're trained to look at and look for, and so it's very important for us to get into the weeds a little bit to make sure that we are getting the full story of what the home is trying to say.
In general, now we've talked about brand new homes, 50-year-old homes, all that, but is there in the top 3 things that, on an average, when you see homes, maybe top 3 things that seem to come up again and again as far as problems? And I say that, too, because I'm curious, but I know people are curious. Also, it might give someone an idea that if they're even not selling their home, they ought to brush up and get this thing fixed. What do you run into?
So, first of all, I don't like to use the term problem when I describe a home. I like to use the term opportunity. So we run into some opportunities with homes when we look at primarily I'd say first and foremost what we run into is what are considered settlement cracks when the home is built and it settles, and sometimes it leaves cracks, especially in vaulted ceilings or tray ceilings here in the Houston area. That's one of the most common ones. A lot of times people will walk in and they'll see that and they'll freak out and they'll think, oh my gosh, there's foundation issues. And it's really not the case. It's just an issue of settling of the house, and it's a simple patch and paint fix. Other issues, a lot of times people will have their air conditioning replaced. They'll replace everything in the system, but they'll forget to update the breaker that's inside the panel. So the panel, the electrical panel, will have the wrong size amperage breaker inside. Those are probably the 2 biggest issues that we run into. Everything else is, there's little things here and there, what I consider probably blue tape items that you'd see on a new home.
The other thing that strikes me as you say that, when you go into a home, and I bet even when you're not working, TJ, when you go into the home, you're looking everywhere, up, down, sideways, under. Am I right?
That is correct. We are looking everywhere we can look to look for problems, especially on new homes. For example, you'll find a lot of times where they'll forget to refinish or texture the inside of the closets or things like that. So we go into the weeds, as I say, because that's our job. That's what you pay us to do.
I'm picturing you're going to a party, you're out, you're not working. You go over to the person's house and you're looking all around. Does that ever happen? Sometimes is it hard to turn the job off? It
is hard to turn the job off. It's when you're trained to look and you have an eye for detail. It's hard to turn things off.
Trained
sometimes.
to look. T.J. Thompson. There you go. That might be a motto for you. So the role of the inspector is so important. If you're inspecting the home I'm getting ready to buy, that's something I'm relying on your expertise. But also, you have a very important role with real estate professionals. Many times, they are the ones that recommend you. But tell us about your role and relationship with the real estate professional.
So with the real estate professional, it's important for us to explain what we do. I was in the insurance industry for 15 years, and I had the opportunity to travel the country and teach customer service and then teach the adjusters how to handle insurance claims. And insurance claims are very similar to home inspections, whereas people don't go through it every single day. So it's easy for somebody to go out there and throw a bunch of terms and jargons and things like that. And when you do that, you leave the customer confused and maybe a little concerned about making the purchase. Our job is to not do that. Our job is to go in and explain things in such a way that helps people understand, where if we find an issue that's a common issue, we can explain to the customer during the walkthrough or during the time that we have with them that, hey, we see this on 8 out of 10 homes that we look at. It's a pretty common problem.
The inspection report is what you present to the buyer, right? Give us a word on that inspection report. And what, if someone's getting a report right now, what should they look for? Or what would you look for if you...
So the inspection report in the state of Texas can be very scary. I'm not going to lie.
It is pretty scary. I'm remembering back now. Yes.
It can be, because the state of Texas has some very small definitions as to what is acceptable in some categories. And if I just send the report without explaining what the report means to the customer, it would probably turn them off when purchasing the house. Even if the customer can't come to the inspection and do the walkthrough with me so I can explain it, I schedule a call with them so that we can go over the report and I can explain in detail what each item means. And if an item is listed as deficient on the report, this is why it's listed as deficient, and this is what needs to be done to get it fixed.
Kind of like you were saying, your background in insurance. If you read the insurance policy, that's scary too.
Exactly.
You need someone to interpret that and to let you know what is really happening. Let's tell people, TJ, if they would like to use your services or learn more about Before You Buy, your company, what should they do?
They can call me at 713-816-2290, or they can email me at tjt@beforeyoubuyis.com. Or you can look me up on the web at beforeyoubuyinspectionservices.com.
And the number again is
713-816-2290.
Thank you so much, TJ Thompson. He's looking at everything when he walks in the home, doing tremendous work. Give him a call, 713-816-2290. We're coming right back with even more Real Estate Matters. Here we go. Stewart Title. We have tremendous associates all around the country. In fact, we're an international company, but right here in Houston, Texas, we have so many locations to serve buyers and sellers, residential and commercial. In one of our locations, we have Angelita Negrita. She is with our Gulf Freeway branch right here in Houston, Texas. Yeah, the fourth largest city. Angelita, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, Bill.
It is awesome, and I just met you last week, but it's fascinating to know what's going on at Stewart Title in all the areas of town. Let's tell people a little bit more about geographically where you're located and kind of what's going on there.
So I am at the Gulf Freeway office. Our office is off of Featherwood and 45. And so we've been there for many years. But of course, now that I've been promoted as branch manager there, I definitely want to get us shining and get everybody to remind everyone that we're still there, located in the same area. And also wanted to promote that, we have bilingual closers as well, so we can for sure provide that service to our bilingual, our Hispanic community, and also be able to teach our Hispanic community what it is to buy a house and sell a property as well. And we can specifically explain the documents very well. So that's very important. When you're purchasing a home and selling a property, it's really, really important for you to know what you're getting yourself into and understand the process as well.
It sure is. And in fact, that's one of the perks here at Stewart Title. When you get a promotion, sometimes you get to be on the radio.
Absolutely.
And in your case, that happened. Amazing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So once again, easy to remember the street. I love that, Featherwood.
Featherwood.
Right off the Gulf Freeway.
Right off the Gulf Freeway.
People cannot forget that. In fact, they probably just hearing that want to close their next transaction right there at your location in Featherwood.
Yep.
You have a tremendous team there poised to help people at any time, right?
Absolutely. We have a very experienced group of ladies there. They're ready to serve, and they've been with Stewart for a long, long time. So, they're very familiar with the transactions and the process and the clientele as well. So please come out and see us. We'd love to do business with you.
In fact, and let's tell people a little bit more about your role there. You're doing a lot of things, branch manager. You're even bringing some business in, escrow officer. That's kind of like you're wearing several hats. How do you do it?
Well, I just kind of go with the flow of things, just depending on scheduling. Of course, as of right now, business is starting to pick up. It was really slow in January. I think it was for everybody. But I think we see now that it's starting to pick up. And we just have to use a calendar, put things on a calendar, and then just, be able to accommodate our customers according to that. So, depending if there's a day that, I don't have any closings in the morning, then I'll just sneak out and go do a few little marketing, whatever I can do, and then run back to the office and start closing. So, and because of that, I have a great staff. So, with my assistant being there and being so knowledgeable, I don't need to be there to hold her hand because she can pretty much do it all as well. So, thanks to her that I'm able to go out and promote our office and get more business and tell people, hey, we're still here. And also we're bilingual. We have Spanish-speaking closers that can assist. And I think that's important that I step out and be able to let everyone know that we have that service and it's available to our customers.
In fact, the stepping out gives you the opportunity to have a better understanding of the real estate transaction, it would seem.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very interesting. So let's tell people your background before you got in the title world. What were some of the things you were doing that you now, and some of the skills that you now use at Stewart?
So I started in banking, and when I started in banking, I was there for I was a manager at banking in the banking field as well. I would say about 3 to 4 years, and then I said, I want to do something else. So I got into real estate, had no clue about real estate, and boy, there was a lot to learn. The test was difficult, and then come to realize that when I was a real estate agent, I said, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. What do I do? And so I was in it for about a year, and I said, I don't like this. Because I feel like I'm blinded. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. So anyways, after that, I got into marketing for about a year in a small title company, and then realized, I said, man, marketing, it's important that when you do market, that whatever you do market, everybody in the office is providing the service that you're promoting. So I realized, oh my goodness, the girls are not doing what they're supposed to. And so I said, I want to be inside the office because I want to make sure that the customers are getting great customer service, and whatever the marketing rep is promoting out there, that we're also, being able to hold the business in the door or at the office. So I decided, you know what, I don't want to be a marketing rep. I want to go ahead and go work inside the office. And I learned that field. So I was able to, after a while, understand the importance of a job of the realtor, why it's important with the title company and the communication. And so I ended up staying in title, and boy, we're kind of the heart of the whole real estate transaction. So that's one thing that I love, because, we pretty much stay in contact with everyone in the transaction. And so we kind of hold it together and make it happen.
There are so many components to the real estate
Absolutely.
transaction, and to tie that all together,
Yes.
it's not easy. How
No.
do you stay organized in doing the several roles, but also even as far as the real estate transaction? How do you stay organized, keeping track of so many it's like a Swiss watch, so many details. Everything has to click with precision, and it has to be correct.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say that it's not because of me by myself, because if it was me, I'd go crazy. We'd be pulling my hair out and would have probably panic attacks. But it takes a team. It takes a real good team in your office to be able to make it happen. If it wasn't because of my team in the office, we wouldn't do the great job that we do. So I have to say, we go by a calendar. Everybody has a calendar. We do have checklists as well, for each and every file. I mean, even I've created a checklist on how to prepare a closing disclosure, because we don't want to miss anything. And I think the checklist is very important to have. That way, nothing is being missed and everything runs smoothly. But I have to say, I'm able to stay organized because I have a great team in my office. So because of them, I'm here where I'm at.
It takes teamwork
Absolutely.
to make the dream work.
Absolutely.
Without the right team, it
Yep.
can be a nightmare. We're talking
Yes.
with Angelita. She is the branch manager right there at Stewart Title, the Gulf Freeway. Angelita, let's tell people how they can reach you and the team.
Okay. My office number is 281-481-3327. You can call us at any time, where our office hours are open from Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Or you can email me at Angelita, that's ANGELITA, last name NEGRETE, @stewart.com.
And the phone number is?
281-481-3327. And just to let everyone know, I do speak Spanish, so estoy aquí para servirles.
And now, not too far away from another Stewart location is Susan Bottoms. Thank you, Angelita. And she'll be back later in the show. Susan Bottoms, welcome to the show. I always say stay close to your Stewart Title business development offer for so many reasons, and you are close. You're right here. Let's tell people about the branch that you cover.
I'm at the Stewart Title Clear Lake office off of Bay Area and Space Center. We relocated a year ago, so that hasn't slowed us down not one bit. I've got lots of things coming up, some exciting news coming up, and lots of classes for your education, lots of events for the summertime, and just trying to grow the business and keep the business moving pretty steady. And it hasn't slowed down. It's just keeps going for the Clear Lake office.
What strikes me, Susan, as I'm visualizing Gulf Freeway, Featherwood. It's like we go on 45. We just drive on down. We see you. We can go to Galveston. Stewart Title, as I said, is poised in so many ways, so many geographic ways, and exceeding expectations all the way. We're there to help people all the time.
We've got you covered from Galveston all the way to Pearland
And your team
in the
is
coastal area.
Your team is often called the A-plus team as well.
Our office is so unique. Corporate even says it's the most unique office in the business.
Very interesting. And you always get, when we have sales meetings, you always get tremendous accolades because you're doing tremendous work 24/7.
I try to keep the office and the ladies at the office busy. It is teamwork.
That's
Teamwork.
right. And the BDOs, they're trying to keep up with you all around the city, too.
That's right. I have a class coming up on the 27th, and it is overflowing. I've got to stop the RSVs coming in today when I get back to the office.
What class is that, by the way?
How to market yourself without going broke.
And that's the thing. That's why I say stay close to the Stewart BDO, because they're doing classes about marketing. They're doing classes about cybersecurity, about personal realtor awareness security, all those things. We've had FBI agents in to help real estate professionals in situational awareness. So many things. If we look back at the last year, hurricane, don't get rocked by a hurricane. We're going to do that again. So before we close this segment out, what else would you like people to know? And let's tell them how they can reach you.
I just want everybody to know that all the Stewart offices and the BDOs are a team. We work together. We do classes together, education together, events together. And you can reach me at 832-851-7935. Again, I'm Susan Bottoms with the Stewart Title Clear Lake office.
You sure are. Thank you, Susan Bottoms. We're coming right back with even more on Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title. Stay with us, please. So much more is ahead. Here we go. The show continues. I say it all the time. Real Estate Matters with Stewart Title would not be possible without our partner, Stewart Insurance, with a focus in real estate and a very special focus on real estate brokers. You know, Stewart Insurance creates insurance plans to address the many risks facing the industry today, and they spend a lot of time helping real estate broker owners offset and manage those risks. Yes, he is here. The ratings skyrocket when John Bramlett appears, and he's here right now. John, welcome to the show.
Bill, thank you. Nice to be here as always.
So here we go. What should we bring forth today to help people in the world of insurance or really anything else?
Well, we've talked a lot, Bill, over the last several months about on the business side and helping our real estate brokers, and I want to make sure that we address that today as well. But wanted to also provide just an overview of Stewart Insurance and what we have to offer everybody that's involved in the real estate transaction, whether it be the home buyer, the home seller, somebody that's renting property or renting a place to live, as well as the real estate broker.
That's right. As there are so many components to the real estate transactions, there's a lot of things as far as components to risk. As far as home, it's not as simple just as having home insurance, but the home has so many other insurance needs that it may have depending on the timing and who's owning, renting, buying, all those things.
Absolutely. So if you think about the transaction, we can obviously handle their homeowner's insurance. We can handle their auto. If they do quite a bit of entertaining, possibly look at building an umbrella policy so there's some general liability, so they got some protection there. If they have a motorcycle, we can handle their motorcycle insurance. Flood insurance, which is important everywhere, especially in Houston, but it's important everywhere. Everybody's in a flood zone, so everybody needs to consider flood insurance. We can help with wind. If you're a renter, we can help you with your renter's insurance.
In fact, as I saw on the news, the Mississippi flooding, it made me think of Hurricane Harvey. And sometimes we think here in Houston that we are the only place that gets giant amounts of rain and flooding, but that's not so. It's around the country. So whether you're listening in Houston, Texas, or hearing this after the broadcast in Pennsylvania, Mississippi, anywhere else, you can reach out to Stewart Insurance. That's right. You can serve people all over the country, John.
Absolutely, we can. And just think about it in terms of it's damages caused from rising water, 2 more adjacent properties or acres, areas that are normally that normally don't flood. So those are the definitions that an insurance company would use to define a flood. So exactly. So again, everybody is in flood zone. You may be less likely to flood, but you're still going to be in a flood zone. So from the personal line side, we can handle all those different products. On the commercial line side, then we can help business owners, real estate brokers, insure their assets. So we can offer a professional liability policy, or sometimes known as errors and omission, which is a bit like a physician having their insurance protecting their services. So it protects a real estate broker in case they have some issue with their professional services.
That's right.
Did somebody believe that you damaged their reputation, or that your services damaged or hindered the transaction? So that's the protection that would provide.
That's right. And people can call you at a number where they talk to someone without a lot of voice prompts. They get right to an individual to help them with the insurance needs.
Absolutely. Whether you're on the personal line side or the commercial line side, you're going to be dealing with an advisor. And our objective is always to make sure that our clients are confident in the decisions that they make, because things are going to happen. And what can we do to help you get back to whatever your normal is as quickly as possible? But in order for that to happen, we do need to have that conversation. So whether you're buying a home and you want to have homeowners insurance, or you want to shop your auto insurance to find coverage that might better suit you, or you want to look at cyber liability, that you've been reading a lot about the cyber crimes that are happening, and these fraudsters coming in and infiltrating email addresses, infiltrating websites, and stealing data. We can help you with that information. If you've got commercial property as part of your brokerage account, we can help you on the commercial property side. If you have a need for workers' compensation, or you have commercial vehicles that your staff uses, we can help you with some commercial vehicle insurance.
The term that you use and all your associates at Stewart Insurance use is properly insured. And what's interesting, especially as we've seen the Super Bowl, we've seen a lot of insurance commercials. In fact, we see insurance commercials all the time. By the way, you are the only insurance company that has their own radio show. Just an observation, number one. But number two, we see a lot of advertisements with very creative companies that are behind these advertisements. Some are very entertaining as well. But Stewart Insurance is the only one that coins the term properly insured. And when it gets all down to it, after all the things that we see, that's what we need to be in this world of risk, properly insured.
Absolutely. So it's, what it really boils down to how much risk you're willing to take on and how much risk you would like to place onto the insurance company. So somebody that's properly insured is confident in that decision. So whatever that decision is, they know that they're confident that if I'm taking on a lot of risk, that I can afford it. If I can't afford it, then I'm going to pass on that risk to the insurance company. The key in all of that is to be able to have that conversation, because you see a lot of advertisements now about, we can do something in 15 minutes, we can do something in 15 seconds. And that's great. You can get that type of quote, let's say on a homeowner's policy. But did they ask you, do you have a pool? Did they ask you, have you expanded your home? Did they ask you, have you add additional children, so now you've got more people visiting the house? Did they ask you, have you checked to see if your floodplain has changed? So all those kind of additional questions don't happen in 15 seconds.
You can be properly insured with Stewart Insurance, and call them at
866-798-2827. 866-798-2827.
I love that number. Just one more time for the fun of it.
866-798-2827.
We're coming right back with Real Estate Matters. Stewart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick. Be properly insured. The show continues. Our last segment. Now we have everyone back. Here is Pam Eastwald with Cornerstone Home Lending. And oh yeah, I love to say, because it's true, she is the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association. Pam, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just remind everybody, Cornerstone Home Lending is a national company. So please look for us in your market. We have over 300 loan officers to serve you. So it's not just Pam Eastwald in Houston, Texas at 713-829-2777. 300 loan officers around the country to help you, over 300. And Houston Mortgage Bankers has an educational panel on March the 4th at Stewart Title, 1330 Post Oak. Please come join us.
That will be a great event. And how can they find out more about that or sign up?
Houston Mortgage Bankers Association, which I don't have written in front of me right now, houston-mba.com. Or
they can Google that. In the meantime, one quick question. As the president of the Houston Mortgage Bankers Association, what is the most fun part of that role?
The luncheons.
There you
enjoy
go.
the luncheons.
That sounds like fun. And now thank you so much for being on the show. She is back, Tracy Fowler. Tracy is here with In the Loop.
Yes.
Tell them the rest of the name of the company.
In the Loop Real Estate Transaction Solutions.
That has a nice ring to it.
It sure does.
It keeps you in the loop. So, Tracy,
Yes.
before we close the show out, what else would you like people to know?
Well, I forgot to mention that included with that 32-item task list is that I follow up with your client actually after close. I said I do contract to close. After close, I'll make sure that I reach out 3 times so that you can get that 5-star review that you deserve.
That's right. So you have systems and procedures, the checklist,
Yes.
the reaching out after the fact.
Yes.
It's incredible. I mean, and this didn't happen overnight. You had to develop this technique and
No,
this
just from
protocol.
what I learned as a realtor, that's really important. And then I also offer premium services. Most realtors are behind. They know that database needs to be updated. They know they need to be sending out a newsletter. They know they need a drip campaign. I can help with that too. It's a premium service, but I'm available to help with that as well.
You're pretty good with the camera as well. You know some camera tips, just telling people in case they want to know. But if people want to reach out to you, Tracy, what should they do?
They can call me 832-540-6767 or go to Facebook and type in Realtors in the Loop, all scrunched together, and you'll find me on Facebook.
And then they can find out more about the menu, the offerings, and you could really tailor something to the individual
Absolutely.
person or company.
Absolutely.
Sounds like it. Again, the number is
832-540-6767.
Thank you so much, Tracy Fowler. He is back. Yes, before you buy is the best time to get the home inspected. That's why he calls his company Before You Buy, TJ Thompson. TJ, I mean, we could do a half hour just on the name of your company because it's so important and so true.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. It's great for us to be able to help our customers. That's what we're wired to do. In the past 2 years alone, we've helped over 15 real estate agents on their own personal transactions as far as their personal homes. We've inspected those for them. And we also offer other services as well. We're well and septic certified. We are post-tension cable certified. And we're waiting on the state for a couple of days here. They're going to process our mold license, so we'll be doing mold consulting as well.
It sounds like there's so many things that you do and have to stay on top of. Things change all the time, I think, in your world as well. But as we think about trends in your industry, we talk to realtors all the time about trends. As far as the home inspection, do you see any trends happening in your profession of things that you may be doing more of or less of here as you look ahead?
I would say the biggest trend that we see, the newer homes are being built so quickly now, and they're turning them in such a fast rate that a lot of times on the phase inspections or the pre-drywall inspections and foundations inspections, we'll see where some of the steps have maybe been skipped a little bit or been glossed over. So it's important for us to go out there and take a look at those and make sure that everything is being done the right way from day one.
Excellent. And how can people reach you?
You can reach me at 713-816-2290. You can email me at tjt@beforeyoubuyis.com. That's IS, an inspection service. Or you can find me on the web at www.beforeyoubuyis.com.
Give them a call at
713-816-2290.
Thank you, T.J. Thompson. And now she is back, Angelita, with Stuart Title, the branch manager at the Gulf Freeway. Featherwood Drive, by the way. Right, Angelita?
Absolutely.
It is Featherwood Drive.
Featherwood Drive, yes.
You can't forget that. What should we know? I know you have something else to say.
I just wanted to remind everyone that we're still there. We're there to service you and for you and your clients. We have a great staff, very experienced, so please don't hesitate to call. And again, we do speak full Spanish. Fully.
How do you say real estate matters in Spanish, by the way?
Real estate matters. Bienes raíces sí importa.
And the phone number they can reach you at?
281-481-3327, and the number in Spanish is 281-481-3327.
Susan Bottoms, just in case they want to reach out to you a little further down Gulf Freeway, what should they do? Susan Bottoms, Business Development Officer.
You can reach me at 832-851-7935. That's my mobile, keeping you educated, teaming up with my other BDOs in the area, and growing our office and growing your business together.
Doing incredible work all the time, even when she sleeps. You've been listening to Real Estate Matters with Stuart Title. I'm your host, Bill Nampick. If you want to hear this show again and again, or hear one of our past 311 shows, go to Stewart.com/Houston. That's right, Stewart.com/Houston. And don't be sad that the show is ending at the time of broadcast. No, because it's always there at Stewart.com/Houston. Bill Nampick, thank you for joining us on Real Estate Matters. And until next week, just go to Stewart.com/Houston. We'll see you then.